Welcome back to another episode of The Real Teachers of Atlanta. I am Nikki. I'm Joya.
Ralph.
And Ty.
And today we're going to be discussing the school to prison pipeline. So let's get into it.
Clank, clank.
School to prison pipeline.
Well,
it got me locked up.
We got the queens in the house, y'all. Real teachers of Atlanta.
Hi, I'm Mrs. P. Smith, the Mama Bear at school, your favorite ELA and SPED teacher, but always teaching my students about business.
I'm Miss Rose, commonly known as the snarky teacher, always ready with the good candy. The kids say I'm their favorite math teacher. After school, it's lights, camera, action. During school hours, it's Miss Carter, the life science teacher saving lives.
We got the queens in the house, y'all. Real teachers of Atlanta.
All right, so let's get into it. So what do you all think are the similarities between school and certain schools and prison?
They look the same.
Where's the policies that they look at? The standardized testing.
You do testing in prison?
Well, kids are not being able to pass it. In certain grade levels, you're not supposed to pass to the next grade. And so, especially when the 8th grade, statistically, they say if a student is held back, they're likely to drop out of high school. So let's just keep it funky. If you don't have an education, what is your likelihood of getting a great job?
It's very slim to none. And certain private prisons that are built off of the schools, the standardized test scores that the kids actually have. So if you're talking about testing kids in the 3rd grade, if I'm building a prison, I need to see, okay, how many children can't read and write? Then that would probably help me to, create a certain amount of prisons to put people in. It's a very wicked idea, but business-wise, it works for a lot of people. We're talking about the prison industrial complex.
I mean, that's been set up for a while. I think we touched on it before in a different episode before, not directly, but we talk about how we look at student performance and the purpose of standardized testing. And it's something that always comes back up. We have students that can't pass these standardized tests, or they're not equipped with the knowledge that they need, or they don't have the appropriate resources or what we deem to be at least the minimum that they should have access to or have. And we find if you follow those students along, I mean, so many studies have been done. It's not something that we can ignore. We know that these are true things. We look at standardized tests. Those test scores are looked at from more than just how can we help these students. They're looked at as, so how many cells do we need and how many more beds do we have to have? And that's, tax dollars, all those things. To me, you're right. It's kind of wicked, but it's a game that they play with our students.
So what you're saying that they're pretty much marked already in the school system on who has a possibility of going to the prison system.
Right. And then a lot of them, the students are numbered. Like every student has a student number. And that's to keep up with the kids for as far as like their lunch and all
that's
of that.
The badge and ID number.
Yeah,
right,
that's
it's
your
the badge and ID number. It's very similar. And even the lunches.
Child line.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look at how our classes look. These cinder blocks walls, these itty bitty tiny windows that you can't open, no fresh air. It's intentional because if you look at schools, you look at how schools are built when they are in minority areas versus how schools are built when you are in more affluent areas. The ones in affluent areas have their courtyards and all their greenery and all these airy open spaces. And the ones that are in your lower income, more minority, more transient areas, just take the jail, turn it into a school, put the school name on it. It's the same place.
Well, honestly, I wasn't aware of the school to prison pipeline until, I heard you guys start talking about it. So yeah, for me, I think it's a new topic for me. So I'm starting to, look into it and research. I can now see the similarities for it. But what would be an ideal school situation if it's not set up? Traditionally, schools have always looked the way that they look.
And so prisons.
I think the ideal place for a student is a place for them to be able to learn. whether it's outside or learning about practical things that they need in order to survive, gardening, how to purchase a house, banking, stocks. Now we're moving into AI, cryptocurrency, just different things like that. Instead of them sitting in a box,
right,
where they are just, learning. They're just writing notes every day. Children need space where they can grow, where they can learn, go on field trips, but those things cost money. And so I think the name of the game is the dollar. Is how much is the school going to, how much money they're going to pull in, whether that's through lots of different programs. Title I, are the principals or the leaders going to allocate the money in a proper way if they care about the students? So there are just a lot of different factors. There was one school I remember reading about where the students, if they didn't have enough money on their account, that they couldn't eat, or they were given the cheese sandwich.
Peanut butter.
No, they were given not the peanut butter. They were given the cheese sandwich. Just a basic cold cheese sandwich.
I think the food
that was happening
definitely
where we worked until like 2 years ago.
If the students were not able to pay their account, if they had a balance, they were given the typical cheese sandwich. And prisoners eat better.
That's what I said. I definitely think
I was mortified.
The food that the school and the prison have and the trades are definitely
so
related.
Similar.
But just going back to what you were saying about how they could be gardening and, different programs and stuff. Like now that I've had different experiences at different schools, I definitely think that kids can be outside and learning these different things. You can have class anywhere.
Yep.
It definitely doesn't have to be restrained to a classroom. Definitely go outside and do different things. You can teach outside, you can garden outside, but I think these skills that you mentioned, these kids need it besides your traditional on the board, 1 through 5, answer these questions, read. They're bored with that.
Even prisoners get recess. The kids don't get recess past elementary school. They need to play. I think, and y'all can attest, I feel like this is, they do. I mean, it is.
It's funny, but it's like,
it's rec time.
Prisoners get rec
where they work out,
where they
right?
go outside.
How long is
They
rec
probably
time?
get like an hour or 30 minutes.
Hold on, wait. You worked at the prison?
Yeah, I was a correction officer for a long
What?
time.
Not us learning something new.
So wait, they get time to, get fresh air.
See, this is a dose of my humble pie. Nah, I was a correction officer, and at the prison they get the rec time, and they get the child line, they get the buses that transport, and I did inside ground supervisor, so I was the one that was out there doing public highways and stuff like the public parks where the inmates would go out there and clean. And
Community service.
I kind of saw the same thing with the comparison to teaching in school. It's kind of the same thing. And something I noticed is that, I'm going to go back to the lunchroom thing. I noticed in the lunchroom, why is it always the lunchroom lady? They always mean all the time.
And mad.
They mad all the time. And it's the same thing in the prison. They always mean and mad. I don't know if it's like being around the food all day or what. They just
we
mean.
done got on that food already. We ain't going to talk about the food today.
But then after that, they go to recess. They're out there, lifting weights or whatever. And then, you have your different, and I see the same thing in the school system. You have your different cliques of culture. You might have your Asians here in one spot, blacks in one spot, whites in one spot. It's just the same thing, so it's kind of like the same setup. But me, I kind of feel like school is prepping some of those kids to go to prison. I feel like they are, because when you have a child that's acting unruly in class, it's kind of like now you're going to the box or going to a certain room in the hallway that another teacher has to be over ISS.
It's definitely the same design.
I remember that. Design. So do y'all remember the what was it called? The one desk with the solitary desk with the high walls.
Do you remember the isolation desk?
The isolation desk. Do you remember that? And I used mine for storage. I didn't like that thing, but that's what. That's like timeout. What you gonna put the child in? Sit in his desk, face forward. Do not look at the rest of the class. Be quiet. Be ignored. That's
off the heels of you're talking about a class where there are too many students. They're not getting the proper attention that they need. Maybe you need 2 teachers. Maybe there's a mixture of students that just shouldn't be together. But that's coming from the top down. So I use my ISS, my isolation desk. Like if I had a child that couldn't get it together, that's your seat. I did, and then I would give you opportunity to come back.
Sit right next to me.
Go ahead I didn't want them sitting next to me.
Sit next to me. I want you to cut up so we can all see it. And they used to stop. Because and
then some kids like to sit by themselves. But I mean, the isolation desk is just a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. You know, why is the kid acting this way? If they're in an environment where, you know, where they can actually thrive. For example, we were dissecting frogs. And I had a teacher say, you know, do you want to dissect frogs with your lunch group? And I was like, yeah, I don't know, but I'll give it a try. Now, this particular group, they were the group that was the most rowdy. And when we did the dissection, come to find out, they were the ones that did the best. They were actually on task. They were working. And what I realized is that this group of kids, they work better with their hands. They're not a group that could sit down. So I was actually quite surprised. So I completely changed up my whole lesson. So after the dissection of the frogs, we were able to really come to a come to Jesus moment where they didn't have to do stuff by hand, you know, writing. They could actually use their hands to show mastery.
I remember when I was going to school, which I thought was pretty effective. I don't know why they took it out of school, but I remember we had home economics, welding, agriculture, electrician, plumber. They had like different trades they taught in school. And
4H1 was,
and then to me, it appears I saw more successful kids come out of that than what's going on right now. Because it appears, because the way I look at it, most kids, first of all, in order for them to want to get their education, they have to first love themselves. And a lot of kids are coming to school already not even knowing who they are, not even loving themselves. So, you know, you got to love yourself first before you can even try to receive anything else to try to enhance with who you are. But
I think it's just like as any adult, the kids, the school is their job as of right now. And just like us, we come to the job, we're tired, we want something different. And I don't think it's any different for kids. I think that we should be giving them something different. I don't believe that they should be in a classroom for 60 minutes, all classrooms, all day. They should be up, moving around. Some classes that they go to, sit down, don't say nothing, be quiet, don't open your mouth, don't move out your seat. It's giving straight juvenile detention.
The vibe.
I mean, I feel like that's intentional. I don't think that there's no accident in how things are designed and put into place and put in actioned. This is all purposeful, very purposeful. And I think at the end of the day, there are components of it that are really detrimental to these students, and it sends them down the path we don't want them on. And they're getting the prisons ready. Like there's more money that's being put into prison systems than there is education.
Oh, absolutely. It's an investment. If I invest my money into something, then I need to see a return.
Yeah. Education doesn't give me as high a return as prison does. Therefore, I'm putting it in prison because I'm going to get more out of it. It is.
Yeah, when you really say it out loud, it's quite wicked, but it's all about money. Like we are a money-driven society compared to other countries as a whole, where you look at their citizens and they really push for them to not come to see the doctor. Let me see if I can stop you from smoking, instead of, putting certain elements in a person's life to really force, the stressors or the cortisol to run through a person's body, where they're like, I need to calm down my nervous system. So now I need to go and smoke the cigarette. It's just
that's why when you send the kid out for a behavioral problem out of the classroom, you send them the admin. They already know, y'all ain't finna mess up my money. I'm finna send this child right back with a snack and a juice.
They getting that juice.
Oh yeah, they get it. They gonna get that. You ain't finna mess up my money now.
What? The chip and
they're gonna
the
get the chip and the coat.
We need to keep these kids in school,
and they know they get
whether they learn or not.
Dang, this dude just body.
I mean, that's how the laws are set up that way. You don't come to school, truancy officer coming to the door. Why they not here? We do how many counts? 5 counts of student body heads.
Yeah, it's the what's that? The FTC count. Am I saying that right?
Full time.
Count time.
It's the count.
Yeah, it's the count.
Lights out.
It's the It's the lights out count.
Yes.
Well, they say that's because they want to see how many students
How many
have.
bodies?
Make sure nobody escape.
How many bodies?
They do use the word bodies.
Yeah.
In class.
Yes. Because that's all it is. It's the
So
terminology.
it's given the same people who make the prisons are the same people who make the school. And they know
Yes.
this curriculum boring. They know these standardized tests. It's not factual.
I think take it a step further. I
You
think that the blueprints for the school are the same as the blueprints for the prison when they start building them. That's one. But the other thing you said, the curriculum isn't boring everywhere. The curriculum is boring in the places we trying to send these kids to prison from. Because I know kids that go to other schools in other areas, and I know parents that are sending their kids to schools in other areas, and their curriculum did not look like the curriculum our kids were getting where we were at. It's not the same. It might look the same on paper, but they're going on field trips. They outside flying kites trying to see if they can draw down electricity. They outside in the greenhouse planting and learning about hydration and how to create clouds in their classroom. I ain't never done that as a teacher.
You was at the wrong.
Say that part out loud.
You didn't give you a chance enough to explore other opportunities.
No, say the other part.
Don't worry about it.
You was teaching at the wrong.
What's the whistle?
Oh, okay.
Go
the
ahead.
other part. Wrong school. Wrong place.
What you saying?
No, I was just saying. I just think the curriculum needs to be come down to more to our culture. That's just how I feel. I'm stuck on that. No
So
matter
what
what.
would that look like?
I think that would be a lot more interesting for our children because they would be more. I think they would gravitate more to that. Than versus the curriculum that's out now. The curriculum that's out now is more like for the elite kids. And if you're not one of those elite kids, you pretty much got to be like in this curriculum, you pretty much got to be in the book pretty much maybe, after you leave school, maybe 4 or 5 hours more to even keep up.
I think the
what the
curriculum
curriculum
is
has
dumbed
now.
down anyway. It's really dumbed down to the point where they can't even be successful.
Man, I can't even tell.
Like when you look at the stuff that's on the standardized test and then looked at what you're supposed to be teaching, that stuff don't even align. It's not even the same stuff. No. So it's like you setting them up to fail the test. Why the test harder than why haven't I covered the material that's even on the test?
Because I remember material that I covered in math class, and when test time come, some of that stuff we never taught in class.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But it's on the test.
And we do not get an opportunity to see the test or help make the test.
We don't get to see it.
That is. Now, why do you think that's so?
Because they're trying to make sure they keep that quota high.
Because
body number one.
It's only made for certain ones to get through there.
Exactly.
That's just how I feel about it. Certain ones are already marked to come through.
And the excuse they say is, we want to see how good the kids' reasoning skills are. If they take what they know already and they can apply it to this problem, that's how they can get
reasoning skills.
No, that's a formula for circumference, and we don't teach that.
I just think we need to offer more programs, especially for these inner city kids. Like you get on the news and you watch and see the governor of Louisiana, and that bothers me how he has passed this new law saying that, hey, if you're 18, you can go out and get a concealed weapon. You don't even have to have a permit to do so. You're not even old enough to buy alcohol, but you're able to go get a gun to carry. That's insane. And Louisiana has one of the largest prison system and the largest incarceration of any state in the U.S. And it's the third dangerous state to live in. And you, the governor, decide, hey, this is the bill I'm gonna pass to make my state safe again.
Well, any person
That's
with
insane.
critical thinking can clearly see that it's a formula. You put certain things together. If you want to bake a cake, you put this together with that. Okay, well, let's put this formula together so that I can get the product that I want.
Yeah.
A child's brain isn't even developed at 18. You're talking about a person's emotional response, that emotional control center in their brain, the impulsiveness of certain kids. And then you add on the fact that they're eating certain foods with the dyes in it, which is throwing their emotions off as it is. So you put a gun in their hand, you step on my shoes, it's over.
But why? That's what I'm saying. That because it's all money, right? Because you make more money on guns than in prisons then paying teachers to educate these young people so they can't or won't, go out into the street. You're not going to be able to save everyone, but that will limit if we build more programs to say, hey, every child is not a college student.
Well, then I can't make money. I can't make money.
I know, but that is so not it's the just goal. Like wishful thinking to say, hey, let's build more programs so kids can get certifications for free to improve their life, because everybody cannot afford college.
Like the kids say,
I can't afford it, but I went.
You wishful
and you
thinking.
See what kind of debt I got now.
We ain't even gonna talk about it.
But some of these classes in college is a waste of time. Though. They don't even make like business management. So
I like that class. Wait a minute. I needed that
no
class for my degree.
To start a business. That's just.
I like that class. That class helped me.
I took it too because I had to get it just to get
my degree.
The program, whatever. But
those are things they should be teaching in K through 12.
Correct.
Entrepreneurship.
But after the fact, it's like, where am I using it now? I got my own business. I'm doing my own thing now. It's like, I don't see where none of the things that I learned in college is really helping me right now. As far as
some of those classes.
All I know
is,
math, just counting my money. That's it. That's it. Because I'm not out here trying to be proper talking or talking to educated lingo, whatever. I don't care nothing about that. I'm just a country ass. That's what I am. I don't care. So it doesn't make me no difference of how it may look as if I got to come out here and speak a certain way or do this here. I know plenty of guys out there that have no education.
Into the money.
And look at our brothers, our Latino brothers.
What's up?
A lot of them here with no education at all.
Can't speak or no English.
No English at all, and making more money than any college student probably is right now, than the average college student.
And carrying cash, no banks included.
But I think I think that the problem with that, I won't say it's a problem. I think the situation with that is our kids are like, we want fast money, we want it now, and they don't want to work, but they don't want to work hard.
That's why education is not important to them.
Because they're like, I see such and such out here getting money. They don't know what the price of that is, what they're having to give up. So they don't know, okay, this person getting money today, but they've been working on this for 5 years or 10 years. They don't know the work that goes into it. And I feel like that's the miss. So when our kids are looking at all these people on social media and all these folks in their communities or the drug dealers or whatever that, they got money, what are they giving up? And what have they put in? Like my dad used to always tell us, you either gonna pay now or play later, or you gonna pay now and play later. But still, it's one or the other. You either gonna put your work in now so you can enjoy it, or you gonna enjoy the little you got and you can be working the rest of your life.
But you know what? A lot of the kids already know the outcome of trying to live that lifestyle already. They know. Correct. And some of them try to make it seem cute. I ain't scared to go to prison. I ain't scared of jail. They try to make it look like it's a good thing.
How they look when they get there,
so you can kind of have this image of being some kind of gangster, whatever it is you're looking for. But the thing is that it's not cute at all, because once you get in there, I don't see a lot of kids, because I used to work in the prison system. I see them come in there, and I knew them from the street, and I see them, they come to my prison where I was. Boy, I see them bitch up quiet. I mean, they bitch up real quick.
I see them before they get to you, because I used to work for the federal courts, and we put that paper in front of them. I tell the children at school, they call it, I call it the snitch paper at school. When you snitch paper, you go in there and tell on your friends. We got the same snitch paper in the federal court system.
That's crazy.
When we slide that snitch paper in front of you, I'm talking about, I done seen the biggest kingpins of the thugs with the crosses on their forehead come down there. It's a tell-all book.
They telling on everybody.
You gonna do a 50 or you drop some names. What you think they finna do?
Drop some names.
What you talking about? I'm a canary now. Shriek, 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 shriek. They singing now. They getting off.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean.
What?
They telling.
Yeah. They be telling.
They telling.
Everything. All your business. For that little bit
Don't
of
snitch,
reduction.
y'all. Keep listening as y'all want to, because some of y'all favorite people
snitching. They absolutely. And they lie about a lot of stuff that's in their raps too. So
it's some of the stuff they're saying. It's
not even
like I said, it's all about trying to get this image, and which it kind of bothers me sometimes, because I understand, you gotta understand we're all just normal people, but some of us just really want to be like called a god. We want to be like that God. Like, you have to have this confidence thing, to when you're speaking in the the gangster arena or whatever to make yourself appear like, you know, I'm the God, I'm the boss here, you know, and that's what everybody wants to make it appear like. But like I said, a lot of kids don't care about the outcome. They just want to live that image right then.
Right. The God complex, they twisting it. Because if you're a God, you should want to be in that image, God-like, not a thug. Them two totally different people.
But they meshed the two to make it seem like, okay, this is cute. This is what we doing. You know? We hard. And especially, don't let them come out of prison. Yeah, I'm done 13 years. Oh, yeah. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, this me. But like, bruh,
while you was in there, they wasn't like that?
What you doing? But I seen some guys go to prison and they actually want to get their education now. They go in there and start reading books. I seen some come out as lawyers.
Oh, yeah, they get their education.
What's that one judge that went, I forget his name. Is it Joe Brown? Judge Mathis? It's one of them.
Right. Yeah.
Probably Brown.
Yeah, one of them, he was in the prison. And he came out as a lawyer. You know,
I've had a student that I had a student in the past that, you know, got off on what you were saying, Coleman. You know, they think it's cute. You know, he had an opportunity, and we talking middle school, he had the opportunity to go to jail. And he thought there was something proud of that. And, you know, he knew, you know, certain things he had did, what type of time he was looking at, because, you know, everybody got, you know, you got these street lawyers, everybody got a street doctor, street lawyer, all this type of thing. I said, okay, son, you know, sometimes they have to unfortunately learn on their own, but he was just so fascinated, and it made him be, I guess, prove himself that he's that hard. I'm hard. I done went to jail and I'm going to court and I know what they're going to give me. And I'm like, why? Where is this mentality coming from?
I don't know, but it is sad that they're glorifying that and they're glamorizing it. It's really sad.
You know, he was allowed to do certain things in the school, and it was like, you know, administrators had no control.
Well, everything starts at the house. So it's a plethora of things that could have gone wrong with that. It's like a rabbit hole.
I took the students one time to the graveyard one time.
Wow. And
it just showed them, because I knew some guys that played that hard life, and I took them out there to the graveyard and just let them see it. Like, this is where you want to be. This is where you want to go. You know, had a couple boys out there getting emotional a little bit. I said, oh, no.
Don't cry now.
Don't do it now. This is where you want to go.
The thing is, once it's over, it's over.
Yeah.
And you don't get another chance at it. So you really got to think about what you're doing. And I think that that kind of life is asking kids to really make adult decisions. And like Joy said, they're not prepared to make those kind of choices. It just sounds good. They think, you know, the kids, I remember thinking I was grown when I was 14, 15. I remember thinking I had it together.
They go to feel good.
Right.
That's it.
But we didn't have nothing together, you know? And so now it's like, we're trying to teach these kids, hey, okay, there's something more to this. You need to learn some more. You know, life is the best teacher. You need that experience. And they are still looking like, I want to be like the video vixens and the social media models and all this and the rappers. And I want to look at that.
That costs as well.
It costs a lot of money.
There are certain things you got to give up in order to play in that type of lifestyle.
Have y'all seen the anti-influencer? There's a girl on Instagram, white girl, and she's like she's an influencer, but her whole point is, I'm just going to show you what it takes to be an influencer. She did a video one time where she ran down the expenses of everything that she had done to be an Instagram model. She was talking about her tummy tuck, her facelifts, her Botox, her eyelids had been done, her ears had been done. She was taking out her tracks. She was talking about how she had to have her breasts done, her butt done, all this stuff that she had done to alter her body. But it was one of those things you're just like, you did all that. You still look, first of all, I would, not talk trash, but you still look regular. She did all this to look regular. Yeah. And she didn't have like millions of followers, but just to see, like, you did all of this and you still, what did you get? You still gonna get old like the rest of us. Hopefully.
Beauty fades.
Exactly. And you done spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to look.
After that, like, it becomes a mind thing after that.
Yep.
But before we get out of here, what do you guys think about alternative schools? I know we're talking about schools.
Think about what?
Alternative schools.
Alternative school?
Yep.
I don't. Alternative, like where we send bad kids. Or
That's the halfway house.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is the halfway house.
This
the halfway house.
This the one stop between here and the jail cell.
You're either going to come on out and get on right, or you can just go ahead and go on in.
That's your pit stop between school and
That's
prison.
your last stop.
That's it. Stop. Yeah. Dang.
But if they would just fix some of the issues that are going on in the school, paying teachers more so that you could have more qualified instructors in the classroom. Yeah. Like you were saying, Ty, more after school activities for students to participate in inner city so that they can learn how to grow a garden, maybe swimming lessons, welding, or, you know, just things that they can use with their hands, but they don't want to do that. I got to pay for my prisons. It costs money.
And a lot of those programs that you're talking about would be cheaper than putting money into the prison. It would literally be a cheaper investment for a much bigger gain.
But they're not getting a return on that.
Not fast enough.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, it's not always, you know, it's not up to the schools entirely to, you know, student behavior, student outcome. As we always say, it takes a whole village. Yeah. And we know what that village, or who should be a part of that village. Parents.
That remind me of? I remember coming up. And that's why I say I'm strong on discipline. I just believe in it.
Absolutely.
But I remember let's go outside and play. And I had to think twice about if I want to act out or not, because when I look over at that peach tree in their yard, I told her right there, I had to make a decision right then. You either do this or you ain't going to do it. Because, boy, when my mama tell me go out there and get them limbs off that tree, or she go get it, whoosh, boy, that thing hurt. And I'm telling you right now, you get your ass whooped one time.
With the peach tree limb.
Yeah, you calm down for a little bit. You ain't gonna mess around too much. And I think in today's generation, they're missing that. But you know, some people say, "Oh, it's just best to talk to them." You know, so now I'm pretty much I stay out of the way of that. You go ahead and talk to them.
They ain't cutting tails like they used to.
But no, it ain't like that.
And the kids don't act like they used to either.
But you know, they think you're abusing them, being mean to them or whatever. But you know, the way I look at it, I'm preventing them from taking somebody out or even taking me out. You know, so you got to get that respect while they're young, you know, before they get too far out of hand and where you can't get control of them no more.
The thing is, we talk about
where it's at.
We say that, and I'm gonna just say this: we don't want to beat them, we don't want to hurt them, but the police don't have a problem doing it.
That's very true.
So,
but then y'all got there when the police get
they don't care about
then y'all want to march.
Where the march at?
March at that a long time ago and got them back then when they were younger. Then all these wouldn't be right now. But
you're right.
Let's go.
You're right, Coleman. That is true.
That's true.
All right. So we're going to wrap it up. This has been another episode of The Real Teachers of Atlanta. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. And make sure you like and subscribe. We would love to hear all of your lovely comments, even the negative ones.
A view is a view.
And you know I'm coming, so keep them coming, because you know I got time. I told y'all.
You got time today. Huh? You got time today.
Sometimes I be having time, so when y'all be seeing those,
they tear me up.
When y'all be seeing them, you know, you say something crazy, I might say something crazy back, because you know, told y'all.
No need to respond.
All right.
Anyways,
bye.
Looking.
Bye.
Bye. Call me, throw it at the deuces, be killing me.
You got deuces.
If you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more content like this, please remember to subscribe and follow us at Real Teachers of Atlanta.
We got the queens in the house, y'all.